Hi, my name is Alice, and I'm part of the Nova 2 Guided Internship project. So Nova is an AI chatbot that is designed to be a teacher and can teach students about various subjects. So during this internship, we used Golang and Nemo guardrails. Golang is a modeling programming language that's a mix between natural languages and Python that enables the design of guardrails for conversational systems. Golang helps to model conversations with a chatbot and user. And then Nemo Guardrails works as a protective shield between the chatbot and the user. For example, if the user asks about something that is political or they say something that is disrespectful, the guardrail will be able to detect that and then tell the robot how to respond based off of that and ultimately shield out the like negative language. So I work.
So to go on off of this, the reason culling and Nima guardrails is important is because you obviously don't want your bot to go off topic and to talk about, and you have the students going using Nova to not talk about these politics or these sensitive topics, and we want the AI to be able to uh, we want to be able to control how the AI be responds to various types of messages. So that's what our team worked on. And now I'll hand it off to Klein to demonstrate the bot and the work we've done.
All right. So this is I'll just do a quick let me create a class. Yeah, so this is what using the bot is kind of like. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a class for me. So by creating the class, it makes me the teacher, but I'm also making myself the student. And so it'll create the class. Then do this because I've already used it before. All right. So Nova Talk is meant to, this version of Nova is teaching about HTML. So what I can do is, what is HTML? Can you teach me? And it should give me a response. And so I may have skipped too far back, but normally it'll tell you it'll give you like a series of tasks you can do about HTML. It'll tell you how to use headers, how to do paragraphs. But what we were doing is the guardrails files that would prevent the bot from responding to like questions that we didn't want it to respond to. Like for example, if I asked it, where can I buy drugs? It will tell me that it cannot respond to that question because it's not allowed. So there's other things if I do, yeah. So that's basically how the bot works. And so I can show you the coding file we have. Looks like this. You give it different flows for it to, depending on the type of question the user asks, and it tells how the bot to respond to that. And then you list different responses for the bot. And then you also list different things the user could say to the bot. And then another thing we worked on is testing. So I have screenshots of the tests. If I can pull those up. So this is what happened after we tested with the guardrails that are currently in the Nova project. And so what it'll do is that so there's false negatives and false positives. So we have a set of test questions that are negatives, so things that we don't want the bot to respond to. And then we have positives, things that we do want the bot to respond to. And then we test those, and if the bot doesn't respond correctly to negative test questions, those are the false negatives, and we count those and we display those here. And then if the bot does not respond to positive questions, those are also false positives, and we display those here. So this is with the current guardrails. We also have tested the guardrails that we built, showing our false positives and false negatives.
Can you talk a bit about how you're testing it?
Yeah, let me show you the notebook we have. So what happens is we put our guardrails into here, and then we run it. This is where we define our test cases. So offensive inputs, off-topic inputs, and also inputs that we want the bot to accept. And then we go down, we format our messages, and then we format our test cases, and then we run the tests. So in this instance, it's running two tests. It's running the negative test cases and the positive test cases. And then from there, depending on, it'll either say clear or I cannot assist with that. And then that'll be and then we can count the false positives and false negatives. And so we have a plan where we will create a pull request for the current repository, and we'll be able to implement this into the actual repository. So someone can make changes to the Golang file and then run the tests within the main project file without having to go to a separate place and copy and paste in their Golang file. But we haven't implemented that yet.
Okay, thanks for showing me that. So one of the things to realize is that testing usually is done using scripts, right? So don't use a notebook, use a script. The other one that's interesting is that when you think about it, this could be like a typical thing people would do when they create large language model powered applications. So they are actually frameworks already that you can utilize, right? So check out prompt foo, prompt FOO. There's a framework that you can use for these kind of cases. But I think, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think this is something that you can use a test framework, actually. Yeah. Might be like PyTest even, or unit test. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See, let me see if let's see anything else.
Good stuff though. And how do you generate all these? I mean, do you, like, for all the cases, like, you define all this behavior and stuff? Is that something that you generated, or this is something you guys like just thought about it?
It's a mixture of both. So some of them were just things that we wrote out ourselves, but we also use ChatGPT to generate certain, like, we'd give it an example of the Golang file, and then we just have it we'd ask the bot or the ChatGPT to generate more examples so we could have a more robust Golang file. I know Evan did a lot of work with that if he wants to hop in here.
Yeah, so we use ChatGPT to generate a lot of the more general messages, and we would input our own that were more edge case type things that may or may not be caught or generated by ChatGPT.
Got it. Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then also, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I don't know. So over the course of this project, I'd like to just go over what we've learned. So we gained a lot of experience just working with language models. We learned how to use Golang, which is the format used to tell the language model how to respond. We got a lot of work done in working with Discord bots, and we learned the testing. That's already been mostly said, but again.
All right, awesome. Is that it?
I believe so.
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
Good job. Round of applause for Nova 2 team. One question I have is for the guardrails, do you have to code in every example for it to follow the guardrails, or do you have some way to like take the examples that you have and then like generalize like particular patterns so it can train to follow the guardrails without having to, you know, follow like a preset like set of examples?
Oh yeah, so I can, so if the user inputs something, and as long as it's along the lines of as long as the thing that the user inputs is along the lines of what we've laid out, like I could, in the guardrails, I could put for things that we don't want the user to, that we don't want the bot to respond to, it could say, how do I pirate a movie? If the user inputted, how do I pirate Pirates of the Caribbean? The bot would recognize that it's close enough to how do I pirate a movie, and it would block that.
Scroll up to the top, you can see like how that's kind of like the syntax of that. To like the polling, yeah.
Let me let's see if I can put an article link to show what we have.
Just to add on, just like if you provide enough examples of kind of what, so like if you're defining like off topic and you provide enough examples of off topic, it should be able to identify what is off topic. So
yeah. So like this, if we don't write like every single personal issue a person could have, we kind of just be like personal issue. And if someone's like how to deal with not getting enough sleep, the AI should be able to catch that and not respond.
Oh, I see.
I just want to say this is something Nova would definitely use, 100%. Yeah, and literally we can just take the file and put it in there, and it's gonna work, right? So this is something that, you know, we're very appreciative that you did this. Yeah, this is gonna save us a lot of time. So thank you for everything. Thank you for the learning. Thank you for engagement. Yeah.